see where she is in her process and see what she's thinking. You start telling me that, you know what, I'm going to say, you know what, this is a good person for this position because this position changes often. For people in upper management positions that have had those type of positions before, they know about change because change just happens. Processes, the different things, your company heads that have nothing to do with what you really do, with the real workflow of the job. They get this whim that, oh, I think we're going to do this. We're going to do this that way. So that means changing everything on the lower levels. So the manager now has to learn that process and now teach it to their people, right? So I'm looking at you like, okay, I know this position that I'm hiring for is it's an ever-changing position. You know, it's not rocket science, but I need somebody who's flexible. I need somebody who's not going to be stuck in their ways, that someone that doesn't shun change, you know. So that's what talking to them does. It explains the type of person you are. Let them know that I'm used to change, or that I can adjust well. I'm a very flexible person. I learn easy and quickly. You know, I'm a quick learner. I work well with others. Those are the things that we want to know. Okay? Can you work with minimal supervision? Is another thing. Because we most companies these days, micromanagement, they don't have time for it. So they need to know are you going to be that employee that I have to always go behind? Okay, Roz, is that done? Did you get that project done? How are we doing on that? You know? Now they'll ask you.
Because in a lot of places, in this day and age, your manager may be in a whole other state.
Right.
The person that you are reporting to. And so that is important. Can you get the job done if you don't have somebody looking over your shoulder?
Right.
Are you, on Facebook all day long when I'm expecting you to be working on this project? And so that kind of stuff is important.
Very important. Very important. It's also very important to know that you are a multitasker. Some people think that that's again, it's one of those things that people can look at differently. But I think most interviewers, most managers would say that that's a good thing, because then I know that I can you can do multiple things at one time. You won't be so tunnel vision, with this project that other things on your plate start slipping. Okay? So talk about who you are, which we're going to get back into when we actually get to the interview part. But now, the next thing is, when does your interview start? When do you think your interview starts? Now, besides the fact that we've already said that sometimes when you get that first phone call, that could be an interview. But let's say you have an interview that you have to physically go into, a face-to-face interview. When do you think that interview starts?
When the time that they schedule, if it's at 9:30, then you be there. Even if you sit there for an hour.
And I was going to say, when you walk in the door and meet the first person you talk to, that's the beginning of your interview.
Anybody else? Well, when does your interview start? Your interview starts in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Because if I hear screeching tires, or if I hear loud music, and I look out the window and I'm like, oh, that's the person I'm interviewing. Okay. Your interview's already started. Perfect example. A friend of mine, Mary, she's been in staffing for a long time, and she just happened to be out on lunch. And she was trying to go to lunch real quick. She had an interview coming in right after lunch, and she said, okay, I need to go. She wanted to go earlier, she couldn't make it, so she just went out real quick to grab something to eat and try to rush back. She didn't want to take it in the office and have the office smelling like what she was eating while she's interviewing, so she sat in her car to eat her food. So this car pulls up next to her, music blasting, person in there just jamming, and they going at it, they just, having a good old time, the music just going, and they backing up, one hand, going, in the parking lot. They pulled up next to her. She looks over, and she didn't know that was the person she was going to be interviewing. But she looks over because the music was loud, and she had a window open. She's just sitting in there eating, and person just, just jamming, just going, just, and she looking at them like, okay, wow, they enjoying themselves. Then their phone rings, so they turn down the music, and they start talking on their cell phone, loudly, talking on the phone. Oh yeah, using all kinds of profanity to whoever they're talking to. Yeah, in their conversation. And then they say, oh, I better get out of here. I gotta go for this interview. Let me go up here and see what they talk about. So Mary gets out the car, goes in, goes to put her stuff up, wash her hands. The person comes in, and the secretary, receptionist, shows them to Mary's office. And she recognized them from the parking lot. Now, what do you think that impression is now with her? So your interview starts in the parking lot. When you come on their ground, you are in their interview. Turn cell phones off, not on vibrate. They can be on silent, but not on vibrate. Because we all know you hear a vibrating phone when it's on vibrate. Yes. And it's disruptive. So turn your phones off or on silent. Don't even have a conversation in the waiting room on the cell phone while you're waiting to be called for your interview. Your interview starts in the parking lot. As soon as you come on that ground. So when you walk in the door, it's you already on. She had an interview, and
did she interview that person?
she interviewed him.
Did she hire him?
Well, there wasn't a position for them. Because you have to think about, because she's working for a temporary agency, so all they have to do, and especially in cases like that, all they have to go by is what you present to them. And then, so if you give a good interview to them, and you're a good, valuable person, they'll recommend you for all kinds of jobs. But that person, you put yourself out there when you recommend people, especially in these temporary companies. You recommend people for positions. She didn't want to put herself out there for that. So no, they didn't get that job. So be mindful of that. Also, what is on time for an interview? Let's say your interview is at 9:30. What's on time? What's on time? Anybody else? 15 minutes. That's on time. Late is 9:30. Your interview's at 9:30, you're late. And you get in there at 9:30, you're late. Whether you have to sit or not, you're late. Because most times if you have to sit, you sign in. So if you sign in at 9:30 and your appointment is at 9:30, you're late. Now when I come out and get you, that's another thing. But you should be in the parking lot 30 minutes before. Again, interviews are stressful. Give yourself time to calm down. You made it to the place, which you should have already driven to, done a drive-by before the interview day so you don't get lost and use that as an excuse. Oh, I'm at such and such and such. And you call them and telling you, come on, you're not. Don't even call. You're not. So 30 minutes in the parking lot. But if you can't do that, and that's because that's just to give you time to relax. Stress from traffic, get yourself calmed down, go over some questions and answers in your mind, breathe, relax, okay? And in 15 minutes, go ahead and walk on in. The other thing is that don't come too early. Because then I may not be ready for you. And now I'm annoyed because now I gotta hurry up and finish what I'm doing because you decided to come 45 minutes early. Well, I'm just finishing somebody else, or maybe I just got there. Maybe you're the first appointment for the day, but I need time. So we don't want to stress out the interviewer. Okay? So 15 minutes. That's perfect. No phone calls in the waiting room. Exactly. Don't no speeding. Apparently so bad. Now you get in your interview, or even before then, you're preparing for your interview. Perfume, cologne. Don't wear any. Not even. I heard people say, do one spray and rub. Don't do that. Because these days, there's a lot of people with allergies, a lot of people with, different smell sensitivities. And again, you don't want to stress out the interviewer. Right? So, no perfume, no cologne. It is not the day to try out that new scent, that new hot scent that you just purchased or just got. That's not the time. Use it another time. Gum. I know everybody wants their breath to smell fresh, and we do recommend that. Please and thank you. But get something that's going to be quick. Not even a Tic Tac. Not even a breath mint. They have these strips, or a spray. Something that is done quickly, so that you're not still eating and chewing on a piece of candy to finish up. Freshening up your breath. I don't want to know that you did that. I just want it to be fresh. Understand? Don't put gum in your mouth. See, the thought is that you're going to, I know, I'm not going to chew it. I'm just going to put it in my mouth, so my, breath will smell fresh. But you're in a tense situation. The interview is not comfortable. So what do you do when you're not comfortable? You have something in your mouth, you're going to start chewing. So that gum is there, you're going to start chewing that gum. And that's not going to be a good look. So don't use gum. Don't use lifesavers. Don't use the little Starlight mints. Don't use the Tic Tacs. Don't use the Altoids. Because all that takes time to go away. You want a spray or these Listerine strips. The best thing. Quick and easy. Okay? Clean cut. Don't come in. Well, I know there's a whole bunch of fashion. And fashion is fashion. And no one can be or not choose you because of the way you look, per se. Because that is it's a fine line.
Yeah, but they do.
They do. So what you want to do, again, is put your best foot forward. So that's not the time to try the red headed or the blue extensions. Or for guys to try that new Gumby haircut. I mean, it's just not the time. When you're going for an interview, you want to put your best foot forward. You don't want to come in with braided up goatee. Yeah, I've seen that. 2 braids. It was long. 2 flats. What was that? I mean, maybe he thought he was doing it neat for the interview. He was neating it up because it was all, instead of being white. So, clean cut, no wild colors in the hair, certainly no slang. Smile and be friendly. From the first person you see, because it starts in the parking lot. So even the person getting out the car, we always think, oh, that's probably the other person going for an interview. You don't know that. Could be your interviewer, rather. So smile, be friendly. Good morning, hello, good afternoon. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Those type of things. Any other questions or comments before we get into the next part here?
Well, seeing that my hair is cut and natural, I heard that some interviewers don't like people who have natural hair. So, should I put on a wig? I mean,
No, because again, you want to be yourself. So I just would refrain from loud colors and wild hairdos. Do it as subject. If you came in with that hairdo for your interview, I wouldn't be upset. That's fine. But because we know it's the age that we live in. We all know about the little fashion trends. So it's just that what it tells a person when you come in with a wild look is that you're a rebel. And if you're a rebel, seriously, if you're a rebel in in how you look, then you might rebel against management.
So for somebody that is a natural, using natural terms, using a protective style, braids or twist or something that takes that natural hair and tames it. Yes, is acceptable.
Absolutely.
yeah, but my hair is not necessarily, because it's.
No, but that is fine. Being shaving on the side is fine.
Right.
Like she said,
That's not
with the braids
If I
in the
had this
top.
hanging down like my family.
Right. For your interview, you want to have it in a nice bun like you have. That's what it's.
And less is more
Yeah.
on interviews. So you wouldn't want to come. That wouldn't want to be the day that you do your arm, go your bangles,
And your big earrings.
big earrings,
Right.
bangles, big earrings. It's not the day to wear for guys your brand new Timberlands.
Because you're not there to make a fashion statement.
Exactly.
You are there to interview for a job.
Exactly. And you want to fit into their culture. So the business culture is not tins, it's not bangles, it's not the wild, it's very subdued. And like I tell the guys that apply for the positions that we're hiring for, even though, and that's a perfect example too, we're hiring for a wire tech position. Now this wire tech is going to be climbing poles, they're going to be going through attics, they're going to be going under crawl spaces and all this. And they think that, oh, well, this is the type of job I'm getting. I can just come in a t-shirt and jeans because that's the job that, no. I don't care what you will be doing. Come to the interview in your best attire.
Looking professional.
Yes.
Now, do you have to wear a jacket?
Yeah.
If you have like let's just say I have a shirt with a vest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it have to be buttoned up shirt? Well, a shirt with a collar. I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna wear a tank top. I ain't stupid. Don't you think you raise it right?
Just keep in mind, you want to show as less skin in the interview as possible. So if that means you're wearing a long sleeve shirt with a vest, not a jacket, that's fine. Hair
It
slacks.
doesn't have to be a button-up shirt. Just asking, because you know they like stuff with a collar. That's what I was taught. Man. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you want to just look your best and neat and professional. So not always is that a button-up shirt, you know, but whatever it is that's neat and professional.
And business professional
Mm-hmm.
for the ease.
Definitely not changing. But see, these are the things that we think
People don't.
are common. You know, oh, I know not to wear no jeans. Oh, I know not to wear a tank top. Oh, I know not to do this. Oh, I know. But not everybody does.
No.
But a lot of companies, they have a dress code.
Mm-hmm.
So doing your research of the company and
Mhm.
who they are, you can find out from HR what's the dress code
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
before they even enter.
Because even in First Data, different locations have different dress standards. In some locations, they still expect, you know, polo shirts, but not, dress shirts,
Okay.
not the polo, which is more business casual.
Right.
So the main office got a whole different dress code than some of the other offices. So even then, when you have to know, I think you would just be safe erring on the side of let me go in my
Absolutely.
business dress, because although the office may be business casual, the standard for the company may still be business. So I think it's just better if you just err on the side, let me go dress professional business attire.
Absolutely. And if your interview is on Friday, and we all know most companies observe casual Friday, that doesn't mean you. Because you're not an employee yet. You're trying to get there. So your interview on Friday, okay. You come, your interviewer may have on a polo shirt and jeans. You come dressed in your suit or business attire. Okay? Put your best foot forward. I think we covered everything on that. Any other comments? I'm almost done.
Oh, I remember, I'm not sure if it was when you went to Rodstead that you met Mary the first time.
Apple One, actually, but.
Oh, was that one? And you went in looking for one job and they needed somebody. And she didn't apply for that job, but the interviewer asked her, well, is she at least in business attire?
That's right.
And she said, yeah. She said something.
That's right. I started work that day because I went dressed in business attire. And so because she got a call while I was there for someone who needed, a receptionist that called out, and they needed somebody right away. And so they called and they asked if they could send someone. And she said, where are you going? You have somewhere to go today? And I said, no.
Obviously not. If I'm here looking for a job.
Right. She said, would you like to start today? I said, surely, certainly. Where am I going? So you come ready to work. That's a good example. I didn't even think about that. That happened to me. Okay, so now you're in the interview, and they start asking those drooling questions. Yes. Absolutely. So, and the first thing, tell me something about yourself. They ask that a lot, along with your strengths and your weaknesses. But the rule of thumb on answering any question, I don't care what it is, any question positive, answer it with the positive. Even if it's a negative, answer it positively. For instance, if they ask you what's your weakness, right? You never want to say you don't want to say what the weakness is, right?
I'm late sometimes.
you don't want to say it. So you think of a characteristic that you have that can be changed around and made positive. Like, for instance, I cannot stop until something is completed, until my work is completed. It's a pet peeve of mine. I do not like to leave my work undone. When I'm doing something during the day, when I go home, I want that to be completed. So it's just hard for me to just stop working. Oh, they love to hear that.
Mine is double, triple checking myself because it gotta be right. It can't be wrong.
I don't like to be wrong. I don't like to make a mistake. I don't like to make an error. So because of that, I make sure that I go over my work several times for accuracy. Yeah. By all means, change it around, make it positive, put a spin on it. Like, well, yeah, I'm the one you want because I'm going to be the workaholic that you're looking for. It might not be so, but you wanna take that negative and change it and make it a positive. So you always answer positive. When they ask you a question like, tell me something about yourself, they're not really wanting to know your work history. We have your resume. We've seen what you do, what you have done. So what they really want to know is really about you. What kind of person are you? What kind of interests do you have? Because then they're looking for, are you the wild party type? Or are you that person that on your own free time still like helping people? That's a good quality. So that's what we want to hear. This is a good candidate because even when they're not working, they still have an attitude of helping. They still have an attitude of assisting and working. So to tell people, I'm a member of my church and I'm on the cleaning committee and whatever. You can put anything right there, but make it personal and make it positive. And what you want to do is, of course, think about these things before you even come to the interview. Most of these questions are things that people ask all the time. So at least be ready for those. But if you get in an interview and they ask you a question that you have not thought of, you didn't have time to think of an answer, don't try to be too quick with answering it. Take a moment. Don't take a long pause. But it's okay to take a moment because we want you to answer that correctly. What would you do in a situation with an irate customer? How would you handle that situation? Take a minute and think about what you would actually do.
Now, in answering that question, can you even use an example or scenario of what you've done in the past?
On dealing with irate customers?
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. It's better when you can give an actual event or time that you've dealt with that as opposed to something hypothetical. We'd like to know, what you actually did in that instance in handling an irate customer, for instance.
That event until he had no more steam.
I failed when I didn't get a job.
Well, because you didn't answer right.
Yeah, I don't even think I answered it because I
Couldn't think of, never been in that situation before.
Well, this is for a conductor on a train.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had an